Frank, I've got a question from Rosina, who asks how close is Iran to having a nuclear weapon? But before you actually answer that, I just want to take viewers through a few of what Benjamin Netanyahu has said over the years, because last week on the 12th of June he said if not stopped, Iran could have a nuclear weapon in a very short time, within a year or maybe a few months. That's what he said last week. In 2018, he said Iran has the wherewithal to do it very quickly. In 2015, he said they are weeks away from having an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs. In 2012, he said they're close, 6 months away from having enough enriched uranium to have an atomic bomb. In 2006, Iran is gearing up to having 25 atomic bombs a year. In 1996, Netanyahu told US lawmakers, ladies and gentlemen, time is running out. And in 1995, he said Iran is capable of creating nuclear bombs between 3 and 5 years. So that arches over nearly 3 decades. So, Frank, what is the answer to that question? How close is Iran?
OK, so first of all, I think let's just get this out on the table. Iran says they have no military, their intentions are entirely peaceful, that their nuclear program is for civil use, for power generation. Israel clearly doesn't believe them. Some of their actions have aroused suspicion, not just in Israel, but also countries like the UK and others. But you're absolutely right to list that. You know, there is an accusation here that Israel, or at least Benjamin Netanyahu, has been crying wolf with this. Now, there was a deal, let's not forget, something called the JCPOA. This was the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. It was the crowning glory of President Obama's foreign policy, and it was concluded in 2015, also called the Vienna Nuclear Deal, which, in return for the partial lifting of sanctions on Iran, it put in place some very strict inspections by UN nuclear inspectors inside Iran, and Donald Trump pulled the US out of it. Iran waited a year and then said, OK, you know what? If they're not going to take part, then nor are we. So they broke a lot of the protocols. Now, very importantly, about a week ago, the IAEA, that's the UN's nuclear watchdog, the International Atomic Energy Agency, pronounced that Iran was in breach of its non-proliferation obligations. That is not the same as saying they are about to produce a nuclear weapon.
Mikey, let me bring you back in, and a lot of questions still to get through. So